Well, good morning or good afternoon, Year 12, depending on what time you're going to be viewing this presentation. I refer to you as Year 12 because that's what you're going to be in September. It's a very, very warm welcome from me, Mr. Bell, Head of Sixth Form and Deputy Head at the Coopers Company in Coburn School. And you're logging in today to view this presentation. It's incredibly sad that you're not here in person to be able to share our induction day with us. But what we want to do in this brief 25 or 30 minutes is just to go through a flavour of our sixth form, share with you some of the highlights and strengths of joining us at Coopers Coburn in September, and also hopefully be able to answer some of the questions that you've got through the various bits of information that we're going to present today. I'm very lucky to be joined on the call by three colleagues. First of all, I want to introduce to you your head of year for next year, Mr. Teese. Mr. Teese, over to you.
Morning, afternoon, everyone. Hope that you are watching this presentation with excitement and looking forward to your time with us. I've been at Coopers for nearly 30 years, loved every minute of it. We have some wonderful teachers. We've got some amazing students, some incredible resources, and it's something that we hope that you will come, you will enjoy, you will flourish, grow, and then head on for somewhere, an exciting, successful career in future. So looking forward to seeing all of you, hopefully in September.
Thank you, Mr. Teese. We've got a wider pastoral team as well. You can see some photos, albeit some of them a little bit older than perhaps the real life images project right now. But there's myself, Mr. Teese, head of year 12, and also Mrs. Marshall, who is currently head of year 12, will be working with year 13 next year. And we form part of the wider pastoral team. However, we're lucky today to have two other members of the team on the call. They are Mrs. King and Mrs. Donlan, who are going to shortly introduce themselves. But before I introduce them, we also have Mrs. Wilkes, who's our Pastoral Development Coordinator. She coordinates the Enrichment Program in the sixth form and provides additional support to students. We've got Mrs. Reed, who's our dedicated Academic Development Coordinator, and she will work with you if you're interested in applying to the universities of Oxford or Cambridge, and also has a role in running our Beyond 18 programme. I'm now going to introduce Mrs. King to you, who will say a little bit about her role. Mrs. King.
Hi, everyone. Sorry that obviously we love doing our assemblies normally where you come in and we can chat to you, and we normally have obviously some of the students as well, but I believe that they're going to be chatting to you later on, hopefully some sort of webinar as well. Just to say that I'm head of careers here. I've been here for 16 years. I think I'm going into my 17th year now. I look after all of the careers education in the school from year 7 up to year 13. Obviously work very, very closely in the Key Stage 5 pastoral team. So whether you want to go off to university or whether you want to go out to the world of work, hopefully when we come back in September, you'll come and introduce yourself and we can start that plan and I can start helping you achieve your goal for Beyond 18.
Thanks, Mrs. King. And last but by no means least, we have Mrs. Donlan. Mrs. Donlan, over to you. Mrs. Donlan, I don't think your microphone is turned on. Do you just want to turn your microphone on?
Is that better?
That's great, thank you.
Okay, sorry. Hi, I'm Mrs. Donlan. I work in the sixth form with the year 12s and year 13s and all the pastoral staff. I'm here if you need anything. My office is right next to Mr. Bell. I've been here for 11 years, so I'm looking forward to meeting you all come September, hopefully, and hope you'll have a great time here. I'm sure you will. Thanks,
Mrs. Donlan. And it goes without saying that the success of our sixth form, and we are incredibly successful, is really down to the hard work and dedication of this team of 7 people, but also the wider pastoral team, who Mr. Teese will talk about shortly. The aim of today's presentation is to really give you an A to Z, a flavour of what it's going to be like to join us in September. I know on the induction page that there's going to be a huge amount of other activities for you to engage with, whether that's taster sessions, whether that's watching videos from current students, or whether it's preparing for September with the preparation tasks. But our job today is to talk a little bit about the school. And we are incredibly proud of this school. I was a student here in the 1990s. Both my brothers attended Coopers, and funnily enough, my mother also worked here in the 1990s. So the school is very much part of my DNA. And we're recognised not just locally, but nationally as a centre of excellence. And this quote from the Good Schools Guide really reiterates that point. And a unique part of this school is our history. We're incredibly proud of our history, and it's really what makes us strong. I think one of the unique things about Coopers Coburn is that we date back nearly 500 years, back to the 16th century in the time of Henry VIII. And that longevity really gives us a unique identity and a unique DNA that really makes us the school that we are today and the sixth form we are today. And we're incredibly proud of that tradition. During that time, we've had around 90,000 students go through the door. And when you join us in September, you'll join a long line of hugely successful students who go on and make a difference both in the wider world of work and also in their personal lives. And you can see some of the images here, dating back as far as World War I through to more recent students who form a highly diverse and successful alumni network. And as I said previously, the background of the history of the school really is unique. Founded in the 16th century by a grocer, Nicholas Gibson, our school has huge links with one of the livery companies of the City of London, the Worshipful Company of Coopers. And it's that connection with the Worshipful Company that really stands us out as a different sort of school from perhaps others locally. The school's gone through a number of changes during its time. Initially, it was a boys' school, and then a girls' school was formed on a site not far from the original school. And in the 1970s, the merged school was built here in Upminster in Essex, and boys and girls came together on the site for the first time. And again, you can see here some of the different images of students and success through the centuries. And it's that relationship we have with the Worshipful Company of Coopers that makes us unique. The Coopers are barrel makers. So traditionally in the 16th century, they would have made barrels. Obviously that tradition now is still ongoing, perhaps less relevant in the 21st century world. But the company gives us a huge amount of support, both in moral terms, but also financially. And we're very, very lucky and proud of our rich heritage and the support that we have from the Worshipful Company. I'm going to hand over to Mr. Teese now, who's going to talk through some of the unique situations and the unique perspectives of our sixth form.
Hi, thank you, Mr. Bell. Obviously, at the moment, we've got a very, very unique situation, all with COVID going on. With your results at the moment, you can't do anything about it. They've all been sent off by the schools. They're all being processed. So really try to minimize your stress and not worry about it at this moment in time. When the results are published, obviously there'll be the opportunity to then come to the school, and Mr. Bell will be talking about that towards the end of the presentation. A-levels are hard. Okay, absolutely. You're moving up a level. You kind of got promoted from the Championship. You're now in the Premier League, and you're planning to move on to become an international player. So it will be difficult, but I would hope that you've got that academic rigor, that thirst to learn, and that's actually something that you're looking forward to be really challenged mentally, physically, emotionally, so that you learn and grow as a person. You might be thinking, yeah, university, I know exactly the career I want, whether it's medicine, doctor, go and work in the city, marvelous. You might not have a clue. That's absolutely fine, and you may change your mind. You've been spoken to by Mrs. King. We've got some tremendous careers advice. We have loads of alumni come and talk to us. So over the course of 18 months, you will have many opportunities to look at different universities, different career paths, whether it's the world of work, etc., etc. So don't worry about where you want to go. Just make sure that you get into here and you actually make the most of everything we have to offer. Pick the 3 subjects. Making new friends, that's all part of the challenge. We're a very inclusive school, got a very diverse group of people from all over the place, from further out in Essex. We've got some marvellous students that come from East London, and part of that melting pot is what makes this place so exciting. So we look as a peer group, we share all our strengths, all our weaknesses, and we work and we support everyone in moving forward. We put a lot of work into developing friendship groups, so don't worry about meeting new people. It's all part of the game. 1,000 people have applied, so well done. You've been part of the people that worked through the process, and that's something you should be really proud of. It's a record number, and it's something that we're really looking forward to developing with you. Academic, it is challenging, but as I hope you're kind of getting a feel, there's a real care for it. I'll talk later about some of the form tutors, and again, we've got a dedicated team of form tutors, pastoral support that really look after you. Life's tough, you know, we're in a tricky bit, but we've got a really amazing team of people who look after you emotionally, physically, you know, financially. There's all sorts of things that we're there. So encouraging you to grow academically whilst looking after you is something that really, really is key to us. The main thing is looking for your academic results. At the end of your 18 months with us, we want you to move on for the next stage of your career. And traditionally, we've done very well at A-levels, and that's something, using you as the new cohort, we want that to continue. So we're not an exams factory, absolutely not. We want you to achieve, but by the same chance, there is so many other things that we'll talk about during the presentation: sports, drama, music, arts. You know, we've got an awful lot going on, and we really want you to just soak it all up and, you know, develop your own personality. The high expectations, absolutely, and with that, you know, comes responsibility. So we will expect you to be able to behave appropriately. You are the kind of the blue ribbon of our school. You know, you set the benchmark for our year 7 to 11. So that's where you're going to be setting the standard as a future leader. So that should be exciting. You may be a little bit concerned about how it all mixes up. As you can see, we've got a whole variety of students from 20 different schools, potentially lots of internal students from year 11. And that should be an enjoyable, exciting experience. One of the things I look forward to is meeting a whole lot of new people and see how they sort of add to the Cooper's flavour. So please don't worry about the mix-up. You know, that should be an exciting bit. At the end of it, you should be looking to get those A-level grades, 70% A's to B's. So aim high. There you can see me at the top, and you've got all of those different form tutors. Now, they've been in the pastoral system at Key Stage 5 for a number of years, and they are very experienced people. We'll talk about their role for you in a slide or two, but please, you know, you're going to be spending 18 months on a daily basis working with my colleagues, supporting and encouraging you. I think it's the next slide, Mr. Bell. As you can see, you're going to be registering with them on a daily basis, and it's important that you make a good impression. You can see further down there, they will be writing the reference for your university and job. So it's really important that you shine, you radiate your potential, your personality, everything that's good about them, share all the successes. You're going to see them all the time. Your parents will have their email addresses. They will be there to mentor and support and help you in every which way possible. So it's vital you develop a real positive relationship with them. Classrooms, you can see that we've invested a lot of time and money in recent years in a dedicated learning environment. Specific classrooms, learning zones with your dedicated PCs. It's very important you have not only your lessons, but when you are not timetabled, you're actually proactively, you know, doing self-learning and expanding your knowledge of the subjects. We've got quiet study areas, yet a little bit like a library, and that's a vital area where you can focus and make sure you do yourself justice. Common room, cafe, customized lockers, you know, something quite different to the rest of the school. So again, trying to make sure that as you're a Key Stage 5 student, you are appreciated, that you have a little bit extra than the rest of the school. Extracurricular, as I mentioned earlier, you can see there's all the sort of strands that go on. I hope that you're kind of aware of the reputation that we've got and all the different things that we provide. And as well as the academic side, you should be looking to get involved into all of these things. As we said, we're not an exams factory. We're looking to develop mature, well-motivated, fully rounded young professionals who are going to make a difference to the world. We have a freshers fair, so you'll have the opportunity to kind of sample, dip your toe in all of the different opportunities. Within each subject, there are mentors and captaincies. So you'll be able to speak to people in year 13 who have actually been there, done it, and they'll be able to talk to you on a sort of peer group session. Charity is something massively important in our school, and we raise considerable sums of money for a number of worthy organisations and charities locally and internationally. We expect you to kind of have an opinion and vote and voice things that are bothering you and things that you think we could do better. And we have the student voice and school captains to kind of channel your positivity and your energies. Part of the thing, there's as with most schools, we've got a house point system. So there's the rewards and there's a whole range of kind of golden tickets and prizes that will enable you to celebrate your success. I think this is Mr. Bell now.
That's great. Thank you, Mr. Teese. So in terms of what Mr. Teese has said, and this is incredibly important to me as head of this sixth form, We want you to achieve, we want you to do well, we want you to go on and make a real success of your life, but not at the cost of you being happy and not at the cost of you being a really well-rounded person. And so sometimes we talk about the 3 pillars of Cooper's Coburn. The one on the left being academic excellence. Of course, that's important, but also our school motto of love as brethren, and also the extracurricular dimension of the PE, the music, the sport, the drama, the arts, all the things that we value. And during your 18 months with us, we want you to really embrace all these different aspects of school life. And we have a house system, as Mr. T said. When you join us, you'll join one of 4 houses, and they've all got historic links and very much part of the DNA of what makes Coopers Coopers. One of the things that unique about our school is our sporting success. We're very fortunate here to have a fantastic PE department and an amazing range of athletes from the age of 11 all the way up to the age of 18. And that's been recognised nationally, as for 2 years running, we've been voted the top state school in the whole of the UK for sport, both in 2018 and 2019. And we're certainly very much hopeful that that will continue for the 3rd year in 2020. So in terms of teaching and learning, how will A-levels be different? Well, of course they will be. One of the things that's going to be really fundamental is to build on your experience of learning independently as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic and really making that transition to being self-motivated and self-directed as a learner. Being proactive is really, really important of this. And what you'll hear from some of the video testimonies of students on YouTube as part of this induction is the importance of matching the amount of time spent in lessons with work away from school. One of the students talks about the fact that you need to be doing at least 1 hour of contact time outside of lessons for every 1 hour of work that you do. It's not so much the motto of what have my teachers set me, but actually what can I do for myself to improve my knowledge in this subject. And that's a huge transition from a GCSE mentality where occasionally there can be a spoon feeding attitude. What revision class is your teacher's putting on? What can your teachers do to support you? At A-level, the approach is slightly different. And also a key part of our provision is extracurricular trips. We as a sixth form are hugely committed to taking you around the world and around the UK for the best learning experiences possible. Life outside Coopers is obviously very, very hectic, and it's really important that you're able to get the balance between being successful in school, but also having a healthy life outside of school. Things like driving lessons, socialising, and paid employment are obviously all incredibly important in developing you as a well-rounded person. But we would stress the importance of getting the balance right with this and your academic study. And as Mr. T said, we also run a PSHE, an Enrichment Program, which is a dedicated program to develop you as a person. This runs on a couple of times each year, but also on a weekly basis for enrichment, and is led by Mrs. Wilkes. And you can become in wide range activities like online courses, through to our EPQ, Extended Project Qualification, through to sport, music, drama, and many, many aspects of life. Typically, that runs 1 afternoon a week, and you're expected to get involved in a number of different activities in the style of a university enrichment program. And it's there to develop your non-academic provision. So my job to finish the presentation off today is just to talk a little bit about what happens on results day. And it is slightly different this year because of the situation we're currently facing. What I must stress is this information at this moment in time is for new students. So students from Coopers, just hold on a couple of slides. This information applies to those of you that are currently studying in another school. So for those of you at another school, it's really, really important that you understand the criteria, and a reminder that all students, including our own students, have to achieve the same criteria to get into our sixth form. And that's 8 GCSE results at grade 5 and above. And that must include a grade 5 in English language and maths. Unfortunately, if you don't include those 8 grades at 5 and above, including English language and maths, then you are unable to join us in September. Secondly, please recognise that there are subject-specific grades. So once you achieve the overall criteria, then you need to look at the individual criteria for your courses, and we will accept you on your first 3 courses, or we will look at your reserve choices, your 4th and your 5th. If you're a new student to us and you don't achieve your first 3 choices, please do come into school at 3 o'clock on GCSE results day, and you'll enter a process known as clearing. More information about that is contained on our admissions code. So for those students who are new and are looking to join us on GCSE results day, please look at the time that we'd like you to arrive. If you achieve the overall criteria required to join us and your subject-specific grades, then please come between 1 o'clock and 2:40 p.m. at the time designated on the left to confirm your enrolment and start the process of joining us. It will be a little bit different this year because we will need to look at all the results and put them all into a bit of a supercomputer before we can absolutely 100% confirm your enrolment. But obviously, we'll go through that more with you on results day. The important thing is that you turn up with your results and enter into the process of initial enrolment. So what happens? This is quite a lengthy slide, but I want to go through verbatim the 8 points or 7 points that are on it. Please only arrive at school at the time allocated. We are going to be required to check your identity, so please see the letter that we've sent home. But you are required to bring an original form of identity with your photo with you on the day. Please note that social distancing is likely to be in place, so it may take a little bit more time than usual to process you. We'd ask that you just come on your own. Please don't come with your family or even a parent and carer unless it's absolutely crucial. We need to limit the number of people that are on the school site. If you do wish to change your A-level choices on results day, we will do absolutely everything we can to do that, but please bear with us. It will be based on the availability of spaces that we have in specific groups. We'll then go away and we'll work on all the enrolment materials and we'll get back in contact with you regarding the outcome of that decision. Please note that all of this is contingent on obviously the situation with COVID-19. Should a new lockdown be enforced come mid-August, then obviously we'll need to move more online and a different process will be put in place. We'll write to you about that if that happens. So after results day, once we're able to confirm that you've joined us as a result of your results, it's important that you start planning for September. The first thing is your uniform. And what I would ask you to do, please, is very carefully read our Year 12 uniform code. And please note, if you've had brothers or sisters that have joined us in the past, our school uniform code for September 2020 is slightly different than previously. Basically, what we're looking to do as a school is have one uniform code in place for Year 7 all the way through to Year 13, so that every student in the school is treated in exactly the same way, regardless of their age or whether they're a boy or a girl. So it's really, really important that you look at the uniform code and look at some of the key points that I've highlighted below for you. And then as part of your induction, you'll see on this induction page, we've created some subject taster sessions for you. Each of our academic departments has put together the subject taster that they would have normally delivered in person, and they've included key aspects of that as a video, which you can access via YouTube. Each of these sessions lasts between 15 minutes and 60 minutes. And it's really important that you engage with the taster sessions in your 3 first choice A-levels. Each of the sessions will also link to the summer activity tasks that we'd like you to complete before joining us in September, which I'll talk about now. The summer tasks are really, really important because they help to start the process of making your transition from GCSE to A-level study. However, we appreciate until you've got your confirmed place on GCSE results day, you may not wish to start those summer tasks. If, however, you leave it until late August to start the summer tasks, you're going to have a very short period of time to get them ready for September. So it may make sense starting them now. Each of the tasks has been designed by our subject teams to help you with your transition to A-level study. Many of them will build on what you're going to be doing in the first few weeks of term to ensure you get the best possible start to your academic journey with us at Coopers. Please do bring with you on your first day the information from your summer tasks, as your teachers will be looking at them and many of my subject staff here at the school will be looking to collect them in. And as I said, it will help you prepare for September. All of the information you need from this induction is contained on our webpage. I want to direct you to that now. When you finish this webinar in about 1 or 2 minutes time, please go back to the sixth form induction page where you'll find everything you need, the links to video students, the information regarding the transition tasks, all of the taster sessions, as well as 1 or 2 other bits of useful information to get you started on your Coopers journey. Before I say farewell, I just want to hand over to Mr. Teese to say a last few words.
Thank you, Mr. Bell. I hope that's answered as many questions as possible, but please stay safe. Don't worry about the exam results until they actually come out, and make sure you are getting yourself ready to learn and grow and develop as a young person. And we really look forward to seeing you in September.
Absolutely. Thank you, Mr. Teese. I wanted to echo that really on behalf of everyone here at the sixth form team. We understand that it's been a very, very difficult journey for you over the last few months and weeks. And a huge congratulations from all of us for showing your resilience at this difficult time. We're really looking forward to seeing you on GCSE Results Day. And as Mr. Teese said, please stay safe over that period. And we look forward to welcome you in September to the Coopers, Company and Coburn School.